Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope we're all having a wonderful, wonderful night. As usual, let's go ahead and get some music going before we get started. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, so as I'm sure some people can see behind me, today we are going to be working on a pretty massive project here. Over the last couple days, I have started designing mountains. Now, we're actually going to go ahead and take everything off of this section over here because, we're currently still working on it. We can also go ahead and turn off the shaders. So the plan for tonight is going to be pretty simple. And by the way, sorry for stream delay. I know we're starting hour later than usual, but we're here. We're here. So the plan for tonight, as you can tell by the title, which is Mesas and Mountains. Sorry, other way around. Also, I realized I forgot to change something over here. All right, there we go. That has been changed. Okay, so as you can tell by the title, which is Mesas and Mountains. Dang it, I did it right. Mountains and Mesas. Tonight, we're going to be working on these mountains, of course. And then, if we have extra time, or depending on how we're feeling after an hour or so of working on these mountains, we might go play some Mace PvP over on a server. I've been having a lot of fun with Mace PvP recently. I'm no I'm not an expert by any means, but not bad. But anyway, the primary objective is definitely going to be working on mountains. So, as some of you may remember from a stream, that was a long time ago, I had already discussed working on mountains and a forest. All right, let everything adjust. This was a testing world that we worked in about a month ago, where I had showed off mountains. I had two different iterations of mountains. I think these are the same, actually. The other iteration was in another world. But we had two iterations of mountains that I showed off, and we were discussing how we were going to kind of fill this space. And I had been discussing a forest over here. Well, then I ended up seeing some posts. I don't know if anybody saw, but Mog Swamp had posted a video about mountains, and this wasn't the first I'd seen. I've seen a lot of stuff regarding Minecraft mountains recently. Long story short, I decided I was nowhere near happy with these mountains. Like, the mountains are shorter than the building. Not entirely. This one peak is a very little bit, ever so slightly taller, but by like a whole 10 blocks. It just wasn't good enough, and these were so pointy and spiky, they didn't look very natural. And I do still love the idea of the forest, and whenever you have shaders on, this does look pretty good. It does, it looks really good, but it just doesn't look as good as the hyper-realistic mountains. Now, I come to an issue in regards to the hyper-realistic mountains because over the last week, I have cooked up two different versions of these mountains already. As you can see, we have mountain option 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, like I said, those are from a month ago, but 3 and 4, yeah, I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So this is the world we were just in. And as you can see, I'm playing with the idea of really pushing these mountains this way. As a matter of fact, that right there is height limit. And then over here, I don't remember if this was height limit, but I was really playing with the idea of trying to get these mountains to be absolutely massive. This is not height limit, but as you can definitely tell, I was playing with the idea of spanning giant mountains. And I did originally, mountain version 3 was a mountain that was starting to go this way. But the issue over here is we've got this river. And when you go down this river, you eventually end up at the logging camp in our custom forest. And the lore and story and whole idea behind this logging camp is that the logs are loaded on boats, taken down the river, and end up in the docks. So I thought it made very little sense to go ahead and block this off with mountains, and even if I did carve out like a tunnel, it just didn't make much sense. Especially because if I did get the giant mountains over here all the way to height limit like I originally wanted, you already know this would end up coming and cascading all the way down really, really far. Probably up to the edge of this forest. And originally, I was like at height limit right around here to really push this back. Well, how's that going to work with the village right there? It just didn't make any logistical sense. So this is where we're playing with right now. And I am happy with it. I'm definitely getting some pretty good ridges and it looks nice. I do like it. But now we have to kind of figure out what we're doing over here. You see, I had already had some ideas for mountains over here and then a bridge and stuff in this direction. So if this mountain goes all the way down to over here, that's a possibility. It's absolutely huge, but it is a possibility. Or we could somehow take this mountain down to around here. What's this at? What if we took this mountain down to around 180, 200 over here? And then over here, we did the same thing. Mountain around 180, 200, maybe even a bit lower on this side, say 160, 170. And then you had your mountains here, and it cascaded all the way down to the waterfront over here. I could have my bridge, I could have maybe a little castle or some sort of a building in the side of this mountain. And then assuming this mountain ends up kind of following around this path, what you could end up with is a little section here where you could probably do more farmland. And then right here, where these cliffs kind of take a turn, we could branch off another path like I had originally planned that will walk you up along these cliffs that would end at that same height as these do. And you could take this path and you'll be able to see areas kind of filled in around here, build some sort of a peninsula right here. There's something to go, some little, I'm not sure what, but something. And then you walk through this valley, this beautiful natural cut valley between these two Goliath mountains. And when you come through on the other side, we enter a whole new region. Now, what would that region be? I'm not quite sure yet. I have so many different ideas, but yeah, once you then get through it, I mean, this opens the door to a whole new world. And I think I do. I really think I think that might be the move. Now, as far as expansion into this direction, I personally have always loved the idea of off of the path right here, building a little extension and then a little copper bridge over this river. And we have more cliffs on the other side, more mountains, and we kind of figure it out. And then over here has some sort of a natural barrier as well, and you can go to a whole new region over here. This one could maybe be more fantasy region, purple in color, blue in color, something just, fun fantasy. I feel like that might be the move. Is that the move? Do we like this idea, guys? I don't know. I think the real goal here is going to be to continue trying to get a idea of what this mountain might look like. So that is definitely going to be where we end up starting today's project. And then, like I said, maybe we go do some Mace PvP because I haven't played any of that in a while. It's been 2 or 3 weeks. I kind of stopped playing after I got the chat ban on the server. Okay, so let's go ahead and establish where the valley might be. And let's go ahead and do this actually in a different color. We'll do diamond. Now, I think let's actually just carve out this huge area. All this natural terrain really doesn't matter. Uh, let's see, Y levels. We can take it down to 70. What's the Y level over here? 80. Well, I kind of like the... All right, we'll take it down to 80. Because I think this hill over here is probably around 80. Oh, 91. This is some big variation, but okay. Oh, I have that flower farm here still. Kind of forgot about that. So yeah, let's go from right here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We'll go from right here. And we're going to want to come... What's up with this? Hold on. No, YouTube's getting the audio. That's kind of strange. Yeah, that's weird. YouTube is freaking out about audio. But everything's working. I don't actually know that this is starting far enough back. I think we might want to... Well, actually, maybe this is fine. I do have a screenshot somewhere. Oh, no, I closed it. There were some beautiful mountains that one of you told me about in New Zealand that were kind of picture perfect for this. Let's go out to here. And then obviously we have to set a block. Okay. So that is very drastic, but that leaves room for us to... Ooh. That leaves room for us to kind of creep in. These will likely end up being some sort of textured valley, so it'll come in a bit for sure. This isn't just going to be like a weird flat thing. That's kind of crazy to see. So now we can go ahead and establish these points here. I think I had originally said 180. But for reference, that would be... I mean, that's crazy. That's absurd. So what if we did about 150? I feel like that is Still a little crazy. But I think we'll make it work. Because we have to also be realistic about these mountains. All right, if we really do take this down all the way to this height, okay, I mean, that's a relatively steep drop. So I feel like we kind of got to make that work. We can't really do too much lower. And then on the opposite side, let's go ahead and do a little bit lower, 135. And then I would like to take these down to the ground. So we'll go from end to end, and we'll make these out of another completely different color. Just kind of getting a skeleton build, I think, should be tonight's goal. There's no way we're going to have all of these mountains planned. A really big thing is going to be, at what point do we worry about the back of these things? That's going to be a serious question, because I mean, that's going to be so many blocks. It's not even funny. Also, I kind of wish I had not yet textured these, because it is going to be impossible to, oh, did I? Oh, is the entire inside textured? Please tell me no. Let's get some night vision. We'll do infinite 255 and I believe false. Dang it, no, we wanted true. Get rid of the particles. So it doesn't seem as bad as I originally thought, but it still doesn't seem great. Delete all that. Oh, okay. I think it's just that there's a wall right along where I kind of drew these lines. I hope that's only the only case. From here on out, we're gonna have to be a lot more careful, because to actually make this is gonna suck if we don't hollow them out. And if we can't easily copy the mountains over without having to go through and manually destroy all of the land, that'll really be a rough night. Oh, whoops. We destroyed a huge section of the mountain. And of course, it was the very first one I did, too. Okay, well, there's not much we can do about that at the moment. That's just gonna be trouble down the road. Yeah, but we can definitely be smart from here on out to make sure that doesn't become a colossal problem. Let's go ahead and mark where these will go for the walls of the valley. That was weird. Hello, welcome in. Welcome. Hope you're all having a wonderful night. All right, get this all the way over here. Should we add a lip along the edge of this, the valley? Ooh, what if we had like a rope bridge going across? I don't know about that actually. I don't actually know where these mountains are gonna end up, but for now, we'll put the blocks there. And then this all the way over here. About the same spot. Wonderful, wonderful. Make sure we're on diamond. And then we're gonna want our modeling tool. And if we select the 2 blocks, bingo. Oh, it doesn't actually go. Whoops. We need to bring these over by 1. That should do it. There's 1 edge. And then if we come over here, we can do the other edge. Okay, so this is going to mark the very, very, very crude and rough outline of what this valley will look like one day. We're going to have to go ahead now and figure out how we're going to shape the mountain in such a way that it comes down to this level without looking incredibly unnatural. See, in order for this to get down to there, that's about half the amount of space that we took on the other side. So this might look a little steep. Although if I've learned anything in testing this stuff all week, it's that we can just kind of curve the mountain to avoid that unnatural look. And then once we have this whole front facade figured out, I don't know what we're going to do over here quite yet, but we can start filling this in at least. Because once we get it filled in, we can texture it. And once we... That's not what I wanted. And I feel like once it's textured, you really get a feel for what this might look like. So we're going to have to go from the very top here. Let's also make sure we have max speed. And we're going to want to go down here. Yeah, that's actually not terrible. With a few well-placed points, we can definitely make that work. Look at the like it looks so weird, just the sheer amount of emerald. Put a soul pumpkin on my head. I can do that, sure. If I actually remember what in the world my model number was. Was it just soul? It was just soul pumpkin. There we go. There we go. Soul pumpkin on the head. I think this will look pretty good, guys. Think about it this way. Once we have these mountains figured out, the only thing we're going to have to do before this entire section of our world is done would be filling in like this region right here. That'd be about it. That's crazy to think about. So let's go ahead and remove this because obviously we want to get some points in between here. And I do think that the smartest way we can go about shrinking this down or still making it look gradual is going to be to curve backwards. It's probably the only way we're really going to be able to do this. By curving it that way, we can get more gradual and then kind of pull it forward to about here because, well, then in here, we only really worry about this cliffside sort of look. We don't necessarily care how steep it looks from this front view because it'd be hidden from the front. See how that works? Oh, that's, click here. Dang it. Pull this out a little bit, a little more altitude. And then also what we're going to want to do is we're probably going to pull this pretty far forward, maybe to around here. Press L. I don't even know what tool L gets me. Lasso. I don't actually think I've ever used lasso. But we're... Oh, did this just delete all of my modeling points? Oh, that's what I get for listening to chat. It just deleted all the modeling points. Okay. Guess we're starting again. Let's once again establish this end point just so we can work in between. All right. How does that look? Ooh, I think that point's a little too high. Kind of lower that point. Oh, it was out of simulation distance. And then this diamond area here, we would we'd want to make this more of a gradual kind of like closing in. And that's no problem. We can do that by pulling, the mountain. This area will pull it out and then slope it back in, and you'll follow along the path into the valley. It'll be directing your player, your camera into the valley. I don't think I like this. I feel like this is way too far back. So let's bring it in and lower it. And then we can kind of do that on all of these points. And we're going to add another one in here just to try get a little bit more natural of a look. And I think that works. I think that works very well. And then out here, what we're going to do is from this point out, we'll destroy the diamond. So if we just sever it right there, delete. What do you mean by update the pumpkin blur? Like you want the pumpkin blur? Because I don't want the pumpkin blur. All right, so that'll be gone. And then from there, we can slope this inwards, I guess. Because the idea is it is supposed to be kind of a drop-off cliff. Now, here's a question. Should we add... Oh, that won't even matter from the front because of how... Yeah, it won't even matter. Never mind. Now, when you say update the pumpkin blur because, you want the pumpkin blur, what exactly does that, like, mean? How would you update the pumpkin blur? Because for me, a good pumpkin blur is no pumpkin blur. I really can't stand the pumpkin blur, which is why I have it deactivated in the pack. I think let's just Control Z that. Let's go ahead and take this all the way out forward to where we want this to go. And I'm kind of thinking, I kind of think we want to get a little bit of a drop off, if that makes sense. So we're just going to get a handful of points up here. And we're going to kind of curve this a little bit. And then we're going to want a kind of bit of a drop. A little drop, I think, will look good. And then after that drop, we'll kind of pick it up again. I'm not sure that makes much sense. Not sure that makes much sense, but you'll see. So it kind of curves down the front and then continues this way. What is the Christmas resource pack release date? Ooh, I mean, you ask that every single stream. So, maybe one of these days I'll just release it. But at the moment, I still don't have any intentions on working on that. But you know what? Maybe one of these streams, you'll ask me and I'll just be like, you know what? Let's do it. But I hate to break it to you, that day is not today. All right, so from here, oh, that's rough. Out a little bit. See, I'm trying to just build some ridges. The ridges on the mountain. And I don't think that's really working too well. Like, none of that looks good, even remotely. What we will do, though, is here where it starts to curve off, let's also go ahead and curve it in the other direction. And we're going to keep pulling her forward like it was already doing. It's gradual, a little bit more gradual. And then what we're going to try and do is connect it in to this ridge over here. Though that is a far, far steeper drop. I think we can make it work. What I'm gonna have to do is start texturing some stuff. It's a lot of emerald. Very harsh on the eyes. Let's also pull this out. And raise this, and we're gonna gradually pull it into here. Well, that's not too gradual, is it? Pull this far out. Oh, that's still really bad. Pull these down. This one is way just too sharp. There we go. That works far better. And then what we're going to want to do is we'll run another one here. Kind of like this. Does that kind of work? Yeah, that kind of works. I mean, realistically, that's what that whole section would end up being. Okay. I think this is working. Let's add one more section over here. How to create backward pumpkin in a data pack. So when it comes to data packs, like I've said before, I really am not the guy to ask about that. I don't know anything about data packs. Everything that I've touched and worked on has been resource packs. That's how all of my stuff works. Not one bit is because of a data pack. Definitely don't know how to make those. The lack of depth perception when you're looking at this is really rough. Why negative 180? You see, that, sir, is in the void, so I'm not too interested. What in the world just happened? That is so weird. The stream just... Hmm. Well, everything seems to be fine now. The stream seemed to have some bad connection there for a moment, guys. Sorry about that. Everything appears to be fine now, back where it should be. I don't really know what the issues are tonight. I don't seem to be having any internet issues, so there really shouldn't be anything going on. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is just kind of start filling in some of these areas, define a few ridges. What I'm actually going to do first, let's add a smaller section in the middle. This is something I like to do because it kind of gives a point to add a lower point into. And you'll see what I mean by that in just a moment. But they need to be sunken below where these are, because these are going to serve as the ridges, the deep parts of the ridges. And we'll just kind of rope it. I don't know, up to about here probably. Something like that should work. And now we're going to switch this over to triangle strip mode. And let's actually go from the bottom up. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the points to create a triangle, and you see how it's now filled that space. And we will just keep clicking along the... Oh. You got to get into a rhythm. But you'll go every other side, and you'll just kind of start clicking these regions in. And there we go, we're building a mountain. And then of course, I mean, once I lay this, we'll come back in with a elevation tool, because we're gonna need to make it look a bit more natural. But this works very well. And once we do the other side, you'll see why we added this lower point here in the middle, because it really does work wonders in creating ridges. What is location? Well, in the world here, we're sitting essentially at world spawn. Very much so within view of world spawn, negative 100, around 100. And if you mean real life, United States, sir. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and grab the other side, and we're going to do the exact same thing. And now by doing this, we're creating that ridge. You do have to be a bit specific where you do these clicks. You can't always make giant filling clips because otherwise you're going to leave little holes and crevices that you probably don't want. I say, all right, this is looking pretty good. Also, when you have like this line here, you see how it curves? You have to make sure you click in on the fat part. And then as it starts thinning out a bit, because it's thinning in, you have to click far closer together because otherwise you're going to definitely leave some holes. Like up here, it's thinning in and we left a giant gap by clicking. Just skipping a huge area. Okay. This right here is just about done. And now, just like that, we have built a giant ridge. Now, I would come in with the elevation tool and we'll do lower, set my smoothness, my radius, lower my smoothness. Just to break it up a little bit, you can definitely use this to define the ridges a lot more as well. And you see that? We now have a very defined ridge right along there. And if we actually go ahead and set this to raise, we can define this ridge a little bit more even. I don't really know if I like that. Now let's just go ahead and, for example, oh, there we go, set it to surface only. Let's just go ahead and do a quick little texture. So what I've done is I've already set the sun location, which it's way off our screen. You can't see it, but I've set everything up appropriately here. So if we just click auto shade, I've already configured it. It's going to lag for a moment because it's a lot of blocks, but it's going to auto shade. Oh, well, it's only going to do the auto shade if you've got the region loaded. So we're going to have to do that again, but now that we're a bit closer, it will auto shade. Type /give at player Minecraft player head with that name. All right, we can do that. We'll see what kind of head that gives us. All right, there we go. It's where's the sun point? Because I noticed that's not snowy. So I believe the sun. Let's go ahead at another position right here this time. And I want to see how this changes the look. Because you see how, like, this ridge right here, this one specific ridge, it's very snowy along this side, but on the other side of the ridge, there's, like, no snow. Let's go ahead and hit this again now that we've repositioned our sun and see what this does. I imagine now it'll be a lot snowier. I wish I remembered where I put the sun for this this side. Because you see now this whole thing is like snow. Far too much snow. There's nowhere near enough mountain anymore. And when you're viewing from down here, yeah, I mean, it's all snow. What's my snow at? 36%. Oh. Oh, oh, dang it. I didn't mean to hit auto shade. This isn't correct. I had updated this. Yeah, this is not up to date. So what I've done, gee, it does so much it breaks dang it, I hit auto shade again. If I keep accidentally hitting this button, I'm gonna lose it. So I forgot to save the preset last time I did it, but I did generate, well, not generate, I configured it, but there is some new settings. Let's click that. Let's undo all the auto shades. Geez, there we go. So one of these andesites, this is supposed to be, I don't remember if I did just stone or cobblestone. Oh yeah, it's stone. And then also in the snow, I added white wool. White wool, and it's right here. And this is just because it's a little bit darker. It's obviously supposed to be less than the snow, and the snow is supposed to be a little bit less than it is. And then I also went ahead and I added in black stone, I believe. If we can find a spot where black stone is, that would prove that I had done that. Maybe I didn't add blackstone. Oh no, I did. There it is. So I did add blackstone. Now, of course, we're not going to see much blackstone because this is all the way down here, even darker than the deep slate. There's going to be very little of it, but it is still supposed to be in there. So now let's go ahead. I believe the sun on these ones were like over here. So if we just set the sun for this mountain kind of more in the middle, maybe around here, because there will be a lot. But we're going to set this at the top right here. So now that position should be this position, which it is. And now let's auto shade this. I'm very curious to see what this produces. Also, let's go ahead and try your head command real quickly. Oh, I needed to get rid of that. Look at that. It's a little watermelon. Looking wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much for the melon, my guy. I will mass select this area. And then let's oh. I better get close. Nope, game froze. Oh, game might have crashed. Nope, no, we're good. Broke the display again, but no, it looks, I think we're good. Still, this side obviously hasn't got too much on it. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. That looks pretty good. I do like this. And now, here's the real question, I guess. Is this still too much snow? Like, do I need to go in, change some of this still? Do we see any blackstone points? If any, I'd assume over here. Oh, uh, did I leave a hole? I most certainly did. Yep. I left a couple by the looks of it. Ooh, you know what we're gonna have to do? I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with this river. Yeah. Ooh, that's something I didn't really think about. Well, if we dot some pine trees around these areas, maybe it won't really matter. I do wonder if, in order to still kind of get forest vibes, ever so kind of, sort of, maybe, we dot some pine trees in along the base. I mean, the mountain goes all the way up to world height, so I don't think scale should be an issue. I mean, that's huge, dude. That is incredible. Now that's a mountain. I can only imagine how many blocks did that texture? 400,000 blocks. That's not counting over here, which I believe is around another 3 to 500,000. Wow. 100% going to be worth it, though, I think. Although collecting the resources in survival, that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck so bad. Let's save this. We'll save this as mountain number 2. So we have that preset now. All right, let's continue with our modeling, I guess. Let's go ahead and add in a lower section in here. The lower sections, what's really nice is you don't really have to worry about these looking too great. They're not very important. Like I said, you're just going to come in with your modeling tool, or sorry, your elevation tool, and take care of them from there. Add MHF melon in hardcore mode. I assume you're talking about like my custom models, and I don't know, maybe. I do, like I mentioned before last stream, I do want to get back to my custom models. It's been a little while, but I'm not too sure what I want to do yet. I'm kind of waiting. If I learned anything from last year, when, dang, can't speak, which is when I really did start everything with those custom models and, this whole world altogether, I definitely realized I do want to spend most of this year working on landscapes, i.e., these mountains, that valley, fantasy lands, forests, all that stuff. I don't necessarily want to spend anywhere near as much time sitting there designing models as I had last year. And now I'm not saying I'm not going to create any models this year. I definitely will. They are very cool, very interesting. I have a lot of fun with them, but dang, I got some hiccups going. But I do want to focus on some bigger things. And I think it'll be a lot of fun to do some really large environmental projects. I think the last time I built a mountain was in one of my Bedrock Edition worlds, actually. Like, it's been that long. It's been forever. This might be a little steep of a ridge. Uh, we'll smooth it out. No worries. No worries. All right. Ooh, that's sharp. And then you got the birds in here too. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. Again, though, the backside. I mean, this is gonna be a whole nother beast. Maybe maybe we don't worry about the back right away though. How long do you think it'll take just to collect all the resources for this? I mean, that'd be crazy. I mean, if we just do the select, keep in mind this has a limit and it's not even getting everything. That right there is 1,000,000 blocks selected. And it's set to surface only as well. Yikes. Yikes. That's gonna be pretty crazy. That doesn't work. I guess we're gonna have to go to there and then to there and fill this area in. Yeah, there we go. This is all right. Let's fill in. Let's get this section, this section, this section. Ding, ding, ding. And then let's get these two. And then we'll see what it looks like and see how we're feeling. And then maybe it's time for Mace PvP. Seriously, I can't tell you the last time I played Mace PvP. I know it wasn't crazy long ago, but it has definitely been a good minute. I'm thinking probably 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I have thought? I remember, I think it was Reddit. I don't know if it was Reddit or Pinterest, but somebody built some mountains. And of course, I love mountains. I love a good Minecraft terrain, so I like seeing that stuff. But they didn't just make some stone mountains. They made the mountains out of cherry, crimson, and I want to say there was some mangrove, though I'm not 100% sure. I don't fully remember. But essentially, they made these pink mountains and then they set the time to sunrise. And dude, let me tell you, that was fantastic. Fantastic build. Whenever the sun hit the mountains, I mean, it was incredible. Absolutely insane. Put curse of binding on the melon. All right, we can do that. Because we're not in a hardcore this time round. Still can't believe you were trying to get me to do that in my hardcore world. That would be awful, man. Especially since that would be like a player head or a carved pumpkin. Impossible to get it off. There would be no breaking it. All right, here we are with another huge section filled in. That one looks a little rough. We're definitely gonna have to do some serious work on these sections here with the elevation tool. Seriously, gotta smooth it out, get some variation in texture in there. It's very repetitive at the moment. And then because this ridge is kind of small, we're just gonna click on random points a bit further in. And look at that. There we go. One more point. We'll put it right there. That's pretty dang good. Now, the real question is going to be how in the world we come from here at 250 down to here, which for the record is not at 117, it's at 120. But still, that is a huge drop in such a very short period of time. Just for reference, that is how steep. Why did that not? Oh, because you gotta be in catabellum roll. That is how steep that is. Put that in perspective. I mean, that's gonna be a rough one to figure out. Maybe I need to rework this. Get rid of that ridge. But I kind of think we could take this ridge and we could continue it down this way and then no, you see, I don't think that's gonna work. I don't know. This will be an interesting one. That much is for sure. Let's go ahead, get out our elevation tool. Because we got to get some variation in here. This is way too repetitive. Larger radius. And then let's actually set this to go raise. Try and build ever so slightly a large wide ridge through here. Yeah, there we go. That's working. Just another little ridge. Not as overly noticeable. Bulking up this ridge all the way to the top. Let's insert another little ridge. Or a little hump right there. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead up here. No, we don't want that. Because that is height limit. It flattens it out. Kind of boom this up a little bit. Keeping this ridge specifically here. Oh yeah, look at that. I am loving it. Let's bolster this a little bit. Make sure we really get rid of the smoothing. We don't want to... I want to get a little bit of smoothing in like very selective areas. Right along here, something's got to happen. This one... let's go ahead and lower it. Slightly lower radius. Low smoothing effort. So this kind of gets a more steep drop off sort of ridge. Ooh, I like that. That works. Let's see what this looks like textured. Dude, it gets so laggy trying to texture it because that is so much space. I mean, 1,000,000 blocks to texture at once is huge. That's a big ass mountain. It really is. It's huge. if this is, oh, screen doing weird things again. That was 452,000 blocks just textured. Again, remember there's like 3 or 400,000 over there already. So we're already about 1,000,000 blocks. This is gonna be so miserable to take care of in survival. Oh my goodness. Alright, how do we let's get some shaders. Let the shaders pop up. Okay. Screen doing weird things again. Okay. This is not the right shader. We want the really pretty ones. Okay. Now this one has a fog limit. There's not much I can do with the fog on this one. If we hide most of the unfinished stuff behind this house, so we stand like here. Yo, is that not incredible or what? Is that not incredible or what? No one's doing that in survival in even 9 streams. Yeah, you're probably right. You know what? I do. In about a month, I'm going to have a lot more time on my hands because that's when currently between school and work, there's not a crazy amount of time, which is why I only get like 1 stream a week and a video every 2 or 3. But most of my classes end in about 3 more weeks here. And then I'll just have one for about another 8 weeks, but that one doesn't really matter. That's just kind of like an easy basic requirement, not too much going on with it. So in about 3 weeks, I will have every single night available because the classes that are ending are my night classes. So in other words, what that means is if every single night is available, maybe we end up doing like, I mean, even if you did like 3 weeks, 5 streams a week, I I still don't think you're gonna get anywhere near a dent in this. I mean, those 3 weeks would probably not even cover resource collection. It looks perfect for a wallpaper. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think once we get these 2 areas fully taken care of, and then by some miracle get this completed, I mean, that'd be crazy. I still can't believe that all we're gonna have to do, because once I finish planning this mountain, all that's gonna really be left on this whole front of the area, dang, that fog really doesn't go very far. It's just gonna be this one section left. That'll be it. And then it's gonna be like starting a whole new region. You're gonna send the screenshot in your Discord? Dude, this thing is so cool. I'm so stoked by this. And you know what? Let's make you happy. We'll go ahead, get some curse of binding for you. You've been asking for a little while now. Curse of binding. I assume you can put enchantments on these heads. I don't know why. There we go. Just to make you happy. Oh, look at that. Curses don't even matter in creative. Oh, you can't post the images? Uh, I assume you're talking about the Mr. Gaming Aquatic Discord, which uh I'd maybe have to change some rules. I believe I know there's a section where people should be able to post images. I don't remember which channel it is. I kind of set the whole Discord up and then intended to do more with it and well, again, never got around to it. I believe Build Showcase is one where you can put there's a channel specifically for media. You can probably put it in there. Let me look at channel rules. Permissions, yada, 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 yada. Discord really needs to add a search bar because you can't find any permissions. Embed links, attach files. Yeah, you can upload files or media in the media channel. In general, I believe in general I limited it to only me. Yeah, I blocked the ability to attach files in general, which I'm actually going to go ahead and revert that because I don't know why I did it that way, but that doesn't make much sense. So I've gone and reverted that, but yeah, you posted it in the general. Yeah, this is so cool. I'm so excited to go ahead and start talking about this stuff and like YouTube shorts and whatnot, because I do think it'll be pretty exciting. I think it'll do pretty good, hopefully. And I can't wait to see like input from people. I really do love getting people's input on design. So that'd be a lot of fun. Test in survival mode. No. I already know you won't be able to take off the curse of binding. There's not really anything to test. Peak wallpaper. For real. 100%. Sorry for all the yeah, here we go. Peak wallpaper. Unfortunately, let me poke around these video settings. There's got to be a way to reduce this fog. Oh, I remember why I left the fog on. Because this shader is it's so weird. When you turn this off, it doesn't really appear to be the case on the mountain. But the area is just, it goes purple. And it stays purple. So I left the fog on so that there wasn't this harsh transition where it just goes purple. For some reason, this is the only shader that I've ever used that does this as well. No other shader does this, but it leaves the purple. Yeah, here we are, complementary reimagined. You can tell a lighting difference when it's outside the normal 32 chunk render distance, but that is incredible. The purple sea, for real. Well, you see, the render distance, the whole thing with the render distance is... Ooh, was this distance horizons? No, this is Voxy. So what I'm using is Voxy for this. There's two render mods that people normally use that you'll hear of. There's Distant Horizons and then Voxy. Voxy is a bit more of a newer one. And Voxy is a little bit annoying because you have to preload the chunks. So in other words, these chunks will all stay loaded in the render distance, but I have to go out there and load them first. But now that I've loaded them, you'll notice there's that one path that stays loaded. There's the one path that stays loaded. It's a little weird and annoying, but it's far better than Distant Horizons because Distant Horizons has a different issue where the blocks are so bad quality. It's not even funny. In Voxy, there's a setting where I can control the block pixel density and the quality. Press F3, F4. I don't think that does anything. Oh, oh! That's how you get to this menu. I'll tell you, I've never once used that menu. I know that they added the brand new, is it F3, F5 or F6? F3, F6. This is relatively new, and you can access and control what appears in your F3 menu. Now, I don't bother using this because I just use the better F3 mod. which essentially does the exact same thing, but I can color code it, and I like the pretty colors. But yeah, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, as far as materials go, like if we, ooh, what can I do to see what this material list is? That won't tell me how much it is though. I know there's a way. I know that I can just do delete, or I can see the auto shade to get the total mountain of blocks, but I can't quite see per block at the moment. Oh, analyze? Filter block entities. No, I don't care about block entities. There's none here. Hmm. Nope, so this just doesn't really matter then. Okay. Anyway, there's a total of 400 some thousand blocks in this area. And we can, well, we can, if I do this correctly, redo to this point. Ah, but I unselected everything. So I just gotta click the button again. It's all gonna break for a moment. We just gotta let the game texture. I understand why it breaks. I mean, it's texturing 500,000 blocks at once. That'll definitely do some damage. Okay, so now that we've done this, we'll do Control R. And if you just replace per block, say andesite. So now we know for a fact that there's 23,000 snow blocks. Now you see that's not bad because that's farmable. Oh no, is this actually tough? Oh no, is that actually tough? Ooh. So anything that is tough is going to actually be pale moss because that I can farm. Imagine getting all this tough, that would suck. You see, pale moss and tough are essentially the exact same color. There's slight differences, but when we're so far away, we don't care about texture, just color. And if I were to build a little sample right here, and we go a little bit away, it really looks like the same thing. They're pretty much identical. The tough is a little bit darker, ever so slightly darker, but in the grand scheme of things on the mountain, you can't tell, and it doesn't matter. So that's how we're gonna get around that. As far as the snow and the wool, those are both farmable. The pale wood is farmable, although that will take a century to get all of that. The stone and the deep slate, that's gonna suck to get, but at least it's like just stone and deep slate. Just strip line in a straight line for a million blocks and you'll have enough. The only big issues will be blackstone and andesite. All right, man. Thank you for stopping in. You go have a wonderful night. This now, the blackstone isn't going to be too big of an issue because, there's only going to be a handful of blocks in here. But the andesite, I do think, will be a more serious problem. Give me a moment. Just capturing this real quick so I have a reference point on where the light block is in the future. Yeah, that is absolutely insane. Andesite, man. Andesite is set to be 10%. So the amount of andesite should be pretty small. Maybe we can find a block to replace it with. But hey, this is crazy. But hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump over to do some mace PvP. I have not done mace PvP in so long. This is going to take a little hot moment to transfer over. We got to wait for new version to load. We can't hop on the server with mods. So we got to load up version 121.11. Speaking of which, we're still in 121.10 in here as far as the world, so maybe we got to go ahead and upgrade that soon. Okay. Oh, dude, that took over quick. What did it? Huh. I'm surprised that updated real quick, but here we are. I don't actually know. 1.21.10 single player. Ooh. Okay, this might look a little weird, but let me go ahead and modify this. Okay, that appears to be just about the right size. Get rid of any black bars. There we go. So, Hoplite, everybody. This is the server. Again, sorry while the screen updates for you. I didn't actually have the software set up for this to auto size real quick, but once we get in here, I hope it's not going to be too laggy. Unfortunately, the server is really hit or miss as far as connection wise. All right, here we are, everybody. We're in. This is Hoplite, my absolute favorite PvP server at the moment. Oh, there's only 1 day left on the competitive season. How many people? All right, 400 people are playing duels, guys. We should not have any troubles as far as getting games here. Competitive games, I assume we'll have a lot of issues, but we should be good here. Welcome to Mace PvP. Now, like I said, it's been a hot minute, but I should be still pretty good. And we'll also play some other PvPs. We'll do like axe and sword, just a little bit of everything. But with Mace PvP, you gotta get pretty good at bunny hopping with wind charges. Dang, look at that. We just got a triple combo right there. There we go. Another good hit. Easy dub. Easy dub. Let's go ahead and adjust the audio real quick. That is so loud. Turn that down. That is crazy. And let's also go ahead and get us some music going, shall we? That's Mace PvP, everybody. Definitely like my favorite kind of PvP. I am curious, custom kits, people usually have all kinds of crazy stuff going. What is this one? This looks interesting. All right, I'll bite. Let's do this. Assuming we get enough people for it. We need one more guy, it looks. All right. What in the world is all this? We got a ribbit reel. We got a good old mace with a singular wind charge. That's crazy, dude. We got a shield, bow. Why do we have firework rockets but not an elytra? Who designed this? Who in the world designed this, dog? What is going on? On the other hand, though, what? No, what was that? Welcome in, Grove. Have I reached 2,000 days yet? No. No, we have not. We did. I actually haven't been on, really, the actual world. I've been doing a lot of mountain designing recently. Actually, we just did mountain designing for the last hour or so. Mountains are looking really good. As far as the final 10 days, that video will likely come out next Saturday, not tomorrow, but the first Saturday in March. Tomorrow is the final day of February. But we're definitely going to have another day, or sorry, not day, a whole nother week before that comes out. I've been spending a lot of time. Oh my goodness. Cover my back, guy. Cover my back. I've been spending a lot of time designing those mountains that we will start construction of once we hit 2,000 days. So I haven't actually bothered to build the final structure of the 2,000 days yet. But we will get there this week. Get over here. Whoa. Go for it, dude. Nope. What in the world kind of knockback is on this? Oh, come on. I did not fall for that. No. Okay. Give me my mace PvP. We are still very close, though. Still 10 days out. Actually, I think it's 11. I think it's 11 days. But hey, we are close. We're really close. We will, I'm trying to line it up with my schedule. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about my schedule and potential stream schedules, because I'll have a lot more time on my hands here soon. But pretty soon here, I'm going to have all of my night classes ending. And when those end, as far as the 2,000 Days Mountain Project, that will open up a huge, huge amount of time for streams and working on YouTube every night. Kind of back to what I used to do before all the night classes started. So essentially back in December. So I'll probably have a lot more YouTube shorts coming out after that point as well. I'll just have a lot more time for all of it again. But when that happens, I have about 3 more weeks. So if I put out the 2,000 day video where I build the final structure and actually hit 2,000 days next week, and then I do a week in between, and then I do the 2,000 days movie video, that takes up those whole 3 weeks, and then we can get going with the big project and far more frequent streams. So I kind of think that's going to be my plan for it. I've been really sparse on content recently. I have been really spreading stuff out while I've had classes going. What keyboard do I use? It's a HyperX keyboard. It's 100% keyboard too. I got the numpad, the arrows. I don't know what the model number or anything is for it. This was a gift from a friend a long, long time ago. 5 years now? I think 5 years. No, 6 years now. This is the only keyboard I've ever had too, so I really don't know. I just kind of got it and I use it. It does have, dang, it does have in the top corner on the right-hand side, you'll have the 3 audio controls in the top. So you got volume up, volume down, and then mute. And then below it, you've got 4 more keys for audio control. So you've got fast or like skip forward or skip one back, pause, and then just stop. And I absolutely love these audio controls. I am going to be so sad the day this keyboard actually pukes. Because like I said, it's the only keyboard I've used for 6 years now. And these audio controls, I don't know how I'm going to find another keyboard with the exact same kind of controls. And I know it's more and more common for them to have these types of buttons on them. But the way they are on this keyboard, the buttons are so small and so minimal. On most keyboards, when I see these controls now, the buttons are huge. Like it takes up more room than just a keycap, which is insane. 3 of these buttons could take up the space that 1 key does, which is why I love it so much. They're so minimalistic. It's not like a lot of these keyboards, they're built around these audio controls now. This one just has them like they were added in. Is kind of like how I would describe it. How are you hitting me from this far away, dude? What is this guy's health at? Oh, we're the same. Done. Gotcha. That was really starting to get under my skin. How did he keep hitting me every single time? Especially with such distance between us, it didn't seem like he should have been able to hit those. Obviously, he wasn't getting, the mace because he didn't have. Is this the same guy? No, this is not the same guy. The other guy didn't. He didn't do the midair breeze ball stuff. The only way that I see this going well is if I get him to jump first. Otherwise, I just know he's gonna block me. See, just like that. Oh, he tried to block it too. Okay, he's at. I'll eat too. Oh, ooh, he neutralized mine when he got me with that. Come on, jump. Jump. There it goes. Oh, I missed. What? I can't believe he hit that. At the very last second, he managed to hit me with the wind. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. How did I not hit that? Okay, so half a heart. Essentially, unless I hit like the next 6 shots, this is game over. Dude, if he just hits me with a breeze ball, I'm dead. Come on, dude. All right. Oh, that's not gonna work. Have I played Core Keeper? I don't know what that is. I gotta say, I have no idea what that is. I assume that's a Minecraft minigame. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, he got me. He got me. Actually, I'm gonna look this up real quick while we wait. Or not, because I misclicked. Core Keeper. Oh no, this is a Steam game. Alright, we'll look more into that. We'll look more into that in a moment. See, Stardew, I know more about that. I've never actually played it, but I do, know of it. Ah, get over here. I have been recently, well, I say recently, but this was more, it was in December, so I suppose it's not super realist or recent. But the last game that I was on it was Expedition 33 was the big thing I was doing recently. Oh, dude, that was so bad to throw the pearl right below me. I also, unfortunately, cannot say that I've played Terraria before. I know of Terraria though. Like I know what that one is. I know about that one. Terraria, I do actually want to check it out sometime. Um, is Expedition 33 where I personally loved it. I mean, it was incredible. I also got it. It was like $10 off. I don't even remember. Is it a $40 game or a 50 game? 50 by default. I don't remember. I think I paid I think $40. So I think it's 50 by default. It is definitely really good. It's definitely worth the 50, but I mean, I think it's 50 as well. It's definitely worth it. Of course, I would still wait for a sale, unless you really, really want to play it. That's just kind of what I do for everything. I really refuse to go get a game unless I'm like dying to play it. But it is incredible. It is by far the most beautiful game I have ever played. And if you recall that whole idea I had for the purple biome, and I also had ideas for other crazy fantasy biomes, so much of that inspiration came from that game. It is so beautiful, and there's so many different sides of it as well. You'll end up with the story. The story is incredible. By far the best story on any game I've played. The greatest graphics of anything I've played. Plenty of games get the insane insane graphics. Um, but this maybe just because it's more of the fantasy instead of like the sci-fi that I'm more used to. But it was incredible. It was incredible. But yeah, the graphics are insane. The story is so good. Honestly, they could make a whole movie out of it. I think it would be I'd watch every second of it again and again and again, and I think it do incredibly well. I actually remember hearing rumors they were doing a movie, but I don't know. I think it'd be cool, but you got to be careful. Normally, movies end up ruining stuff. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. So much inspiration for it, and there's so many different sides to it. Like there's the cute, warm fantasy kind of feel, but then also in other areas there'll be like this more magical. Why did I hit rematch? There'll be a more magical feeling, and there's one section for sure where it's more of like a well, not just one section, but multiple sections where it's more of like a really creepy, spooky horror kind of feeling. And there's other sections where it's not even like horror necessarily, but you are like really like to your core just feel incredibly uneasy because it's just they did so good with the graphic design. You feel in your core just not right. I heard that it was good, but I know that the gaming community can be a real echo chamber. I remember the gaming community was very torn. I know a lot of people were accused of like giving it too much, like it wasn't as good as it really was. Uh, I think it definitely was. It deserved all of that hype, 100% deserved. I know one thing people ripped on it for was because the developers used AI in the original design process. So they had like temporary AI assisted textures and models that they then went in and modified and, made their own, but they kind of use it as like their inspiration or starting point, which I don't really see much of a point of or an issue with. Like the people who sit here and say that uh these other games like Call of Duty, for example, is better because they don't use AI. You're just off your rocker if you really think these giant AAA companies aren't using AI in any capacity. They 100% are, and you just don't know about it. And it's not like they made the game with AI and then left the AI generated stuff in the game. They just used it as, again, their starting inspiration point and then went through and redid everything by hand with their artists. It was incredible. I love it. And the soundtracks too. The music was great. The graphics were great. The story is fantastic. The story has so many twists and turns that I was never expecting either. It's just so good. And the characters, there's so many different cute, cool fantasy characters. And let me tell you, the ending too. Oh my goodness. Again, with the crazy twists and the plots. And what's really cool is what at the ending of that game, it actually has multiple different endings. So you can, depending on your choices, you have multiple different endings. Most of the game is like standard, you know, you follow a certain path, but then you get to the end and you get like one final choice that determines which ending you get. And then once you actually finish it, the actual story only takes you through so much. So there's so much more that you can go play and explore after the fact. And I've still yet to actually explore everything. I did the story and finished the game. There's there's still so much more. I haven't done too much more exploring since afterwards, but yeah, it's so good. I cannot uh sorry, I just lost all train of thought. I cannot recommend the game enough. As far as COD using AI, I do remember I don't really play COD, but I remember seeing somebody online. They shared I think it was a badge of a rifle that they had released and it had like two barrels on it. Like it was so obviously AI generated. I couldn't. That was so funny. And I remember in the post too, they said COD denied that it was AI. I was like, you are not denying that. Are you serious? The AI has really got to stop. They use it for everything. This year, or I guess technically it'd be last year, but Christmas decorations like cookie pans, not pans, bins, or sorry, tins, cookie tins, they'd have AI generated like Christmas decorations and art on it. Like you'd have candy canes printed on these tins, and then one of them would just have like a random teal stripe because the AI messed up and nobody decided to fix it. I mean, it was so obviously AI. It's so absurd. I'm so sick of the AI, man. It's in everything now. All these companies keep putting it in everything, and it's so annoying. They gotta stop. They gotta stop. They gotta stop. It's just so getting out of hand. It is cool what they've gotten these things to be able to do, but at what point is enough enough? You know? You can't have AI do everything. Because if you do, what is the point of humans? You know? Like, what are you doing? You can't possibly develop it with the single goal of replacing humans because Well, there's no point in us then. So it's like, what do you develop? You know, it may. Dang, he hit some combos. No, give me a rematch, dude. No, rematch. Dude. Uh, but okay. Oh, 11. Maybe we can get a comp game. Season ends in 1 day, so if we can get, I don't remember. Am I gold? I really want to be gold. I am gold. Ooh. I'm only gold 1 though. Hey, we'll play comp. If we can get a comp game, we'll play it. But yeah, the AI is really cool. All these different things, but there's got to be a limit. There's got to be a limit. But you know, this was like the first year where all these companies have had access to AI for like a whole year now. And I think they're starting to wake up. Not just the companies either. People, I think, are starting to wake up too. Dang! That was a good hit. Oh no. Why is my hotbar like messed up like that? Eight. Dang, I missed. No! Oh! Dang. Okay. All right. Come on. Nope. We're not doing that. All right. He's spam clicking, dude. That is so annoying. I hate when they do that. Try and have some skill and actually hit the crit. Don't play this stupid game with me. Fine. You want to spam? I can spam too, dude. It's so annoying when they spam because there's no skill. All right, hitting the crits. All right. Come on. What's your health at, by the way? What are we at here? Oh no, I hit a lip. Oh, he's low. Yeah, he ate. I see the particles. Bro, no. We'll get another comp game. We're gonna. No, that was awful. That was an embarrassment, is what that was. That was so bad. That was so bad. All right, why is my hotbar so messed up again? What? How is this even supposed to be? I don't even remember. Dude, get off me, would you please? For 5 seconds, get off me. And let me adjust my hotbar. Yeah, so I'm losing round 1 because this guy just won't take a dang chill pill. This guy doesn't even necessarily seem that great. I'm just really rusty, it seems. The issue is I can't pearl even. I'll die from an ender pearl right now. So I can't even get my... Yeah. All right. No, look at... This is my hotbar. The hotbar is set up right. So I don't know what I did to mess it up that bad. But here we go. Oh, that was a good hit. That was a good hit. And you see that? I hit the crit and didn't just spam him. So I got crazy damage because I'm not trash like this guy, who is back to spamming again. Okay. He can't win. We're not letting this guy win. This absolute garbage player cannot win. Oh, that was a big hit. Okay. He died to fall damage, so in all fairness, that wasn't all me, but yeah, take that fall damage. This guy overcommits. That's what I noticed. He overcommits way too hard. So if we just kind of step back and let him do his thing, he'll put himself in a really crappy position really quick. Just like that. That didn't take very long for him to mess up. GG, man. GG. The first round was absolutely a joke, but see, it didn't take very long. No, I don't play Pokemon. To be honest, there's not too much that I play nowadays. It's really Minecraft, and then as far as mobile games go, every once in a while, Clash Royale, but that's about it. I do every now and again switch. Why is my hotbar messed up again? I do every once in a while rotate as far as like computer games. When I need a break from Minecraft, I'll rotate into usually just like a random game. Like I said, I did Expedition 33 in December. Normally it'll be War Thunder is what I'll go to. Speaking of which, I haven't played that in a hot minute. There's been a lot of updates on that, if I'm not mistaken. This is the same guy. Look at that. He's already eaten the apple. I think I got 2 crits on him. It really doesn't take much. He just screws himself. You just gotta sit back and wait. Oh, well, there he goes. Spamming away again. What am I supposed to do here? I need to eat my apple. All right, get some distance here. I'm gonna have to get really good at hitting these mid-air wind charges, because that's the only way I can easily get rid of these guys. That nearly killed me because I wind charged my own ender pearl up. Favorite show or movie? Okay, I have not really watched any TV in forever. Usually nowadays it's YouTube because I don't really think there's much good on TV. As far as movies go, though, I do. What was the last movie I watched? It was Miracle. Miracle on Ice. I don't know if you've heard of that one, but I'm a big hockey guy. I did not just. Oh my goodness. I'm a big hockey guy. I played for 10 years. Oh yeah, that's the one round he says good round. This guy is such a joke. Big hockey guy. Played for 10 years. This is the first year in, well, 10 years I haven't played. And so been watching a lot more NHL this year. Olympics were this year. I'm sure you've heard about that. Watched that, and then, dude, this guy. I can't. What? Who? Who did he give the game to? Someone else is playing for him now because he was absolute trash 5 minutes ago. Gave the computer to his big brother. There we go. Team do I support? Ooh, man, it was. I do the Chicago Blackhawks. That's my go-to. But going from Team USA and watching that insane Olympic level hockey for 2 weeks straight to now go back to watching the Blackhawks is such a rough, terrible transition. We went from the best team in the world playing the best team in every single country back to Chicago who can't get over a blue line. It is so rough to watch sometimes. We just lost to the Predators last night. Nashville sucks, dude. I can't believe we just lost that. It's rough. It's rough to go back to it. The Avalanche are doing great this year though. It's really unfortunate because I didn't get ESPN or any of the passes for this season, so I can of course only watch the Hawks games because that's in my area, and then very select few other games. So all the good hockey this year, which seems to be coming out of Avalanche, Tampa Bay seems to be doing some really good hockey. I don't really have access to it unless they're destroying my team. Such a rough transition to go back to. But hey, you know what? It could be worse. All right. A Leafs fan to have to go from Team Canada back to one of the bottom 5 teams in the NHL, that is a far worse transition. Okay. We gotta lock in. I think we both hit those shots. Is ESPN on Disney? ESPN is a little weird. So ESPN has a. Why can't I jump? They had a bundle with Disney. It was a Disney and Hulu bundle. They aren't actually Disney though, I don't believe. No, that's a joke. Screw you. I couldn't jump. There was a bundle. I don't ESPN is its own separate entity. It's not on Disney or Hulu, but there was a bundle so you could get the ESPN special service or whatever it was called, plus premium, whatever. And ESPN this season has rights to every single NHL broadcast, so they have everything. The issue is we did get the bundle and we read to make sure that the dude, why is my inventory messed up again? We read to make sure that the bundle included the NHL pass, and it said it did. But the issue is it didn't. Like we didn't actually get access to any of the hockey. And then we went back later and saw, and it's after getting on the phone with these people at ESPN, they said that bundle does not include access to the hockey broadcasts, despite the fact that the advertising on their website specifically said that that specific bundle gave access to all the NHL broadcasts. So rather than paying the absolute insane amount more money just to get access to that, I just canceled it because they wanted like 100 some. I mean, it was insane. Streaming is getting so ridiculous. It's one thing if you're just getting one streaming service, to like replace cable or something, that works perfectly fine. But when you have to get like six of these things, it's so bad. I don't think streaming's gonna last. Streaming probably ain't gonna go too great. Like, I don't know how it's gonna last that much longer. There's gonna have to be some sort of a change because I think most people, it's gonna be piracy. Like, we're gonna go. Remember way back when people would pirate TV shows and movies, and that was a whole thing. And then they came out with these streaming services, and the whole piracy thing kind of died down. It wasn't as big anymore because the streaming services were a really good deal and they didn't have ads. But now the streaming services are just becoming worse than cable. There's no way that there's gonna have to be another sort of business model change somewhere along the line because there's no way that people are gonna continue to put up with this. Especially when TV these days really isn't even that good. Like, as far what new movie has come out recently that has actually been good? I don't even know of any movie that has come out since the Minecraft movie. And the Minecraft movie came out in, I think that was April, wasn't it? So I couldn't name a single movie that has come out in the last year. Put that in perspective. And as far as TV, I don't really think there's anything out there that's good. There's just very little out there that's good. Hollywood is really not doing it anymore. I don't have answers for any of these things, but there's going to be another change somewhere along the line because there's just no way. There's no way. Something will have to change cuz I don't think people are going to continue to put up with this. Fancade. Let's see what that is. Okay. My inventory is broken again. Fancade. Oh, is this a mobile game? Guys, should we start doing streams on other games like once a week? Well, all right, I'm not going to say once a week yet. If I actually start doing multiple streams a week, then I'll mention that. But for now, let's say once a month. Do we need to start doing that? I've been recommended multiple other games today. It sounds like that might be something you guys are interested in. And that's actually another point. As far as like the TV and stuff, how many people, at least in my generation, just like sit there, we watch YouTube. I've never been one to watch live streams too much, but I know that's, I mean, at least in my generation, that's huge. People, especially in my generation, don't watch TV. It's all YouTube, it's all content creators. Nobody watches this stuff that much anymore. And again, if they started making good stuff, I'm sure people would watch it, but it's just they don't make that much good stuff. So people don't, and then the younger generations just realize there's no point in even holding out hope, and they just watch the content creators. I don't watch the streams, but I mean, YouTube is the number one thing I watch, so I mean, seriously, it's something's gonna have to change. Paramount's gonna buy HBO. Yeah. Well, they're not just getting HBO, they're gonna get all of Warner Brothers. I mean, Warner Brothers owns HBO, they own Max, they own Harry Potter, all the Looney Tunes. They have, I mean, CNN is owned by Warner Bros., which I didn't know until today, actually, because I was reading into it more. They're about to gain a giant monopoly. Well, I suppose not a monopoly, but essentially, right? Like, come on. I think it's better that Paramount has Warner Bros. Than Netflix. Like, does anybody really have any faith in Netflix doing a good thing ever? Okay. But All right, you're right. You're right. There are some good shows. I don't know of any like current new shows that are good. I mean, there's good older shows that I like I'll rewatch. I don't really know of anything up and current. I always I would always watch the sitcoms. That was always something I enjoyed watching. I liked I liked The Big Bang Theory. That one was good. Friends was I don't think it was as good as some of the others in my opinion, but I did like it. Friends was good. I watched all of that. Uh, Two and a Half Men. I watched that one was good. I kind of liked that. There was also there was one other I can't remember the name of right now. Dang, why can't I remember the name of it? There was one other that I really liked that I can't remember the name of. But I mean, after you watch the handful of decent ones, it's again, they kind of just all go to. There's not. Oh, How I Met Your Mother. That's what it was. I really liked that one. That one was good. But outside of those four, I mean, I haven't found. Oh, dude, if I hit that, that would have been insane. Outside of those four, I haven't found another one that's been good. There was one. It was something girl. I don't know. New girl, good girl. One of those. I watched some of that. It was garbage. At least in my opinion. It was really poorly written. And I'm not saying like the others are perfect, but they were far better than that. And that just seems to be the common trend for most things. There's a dang. Nah, he deserved that win. He got a crazy combo on that. But there are very few. It's very unfortunate. Star Wars and Marvel, those two both used to be huge things. Star Wars was way bigger for me than Marvel, but I liked Marvel. The OG Iron Mans and Captain Americas. All anything new that Marvel has produced has been awful. I've hated it. I couldn't stand it. The Marvels, I hated it. There was Shanghai, I think it was. I didn't like that one bit. There was another one that came out right around. It was Ms. Marvel, I think it was. It was the Muslim girl, that one. Or maybe it was Hindi. It was one of those two. I didn't care for that at all either. It Marvel doesn't really produce much of anything that's good in my opinion anymore. Now maybe there's something. I've really stopped tracking it after those. Star Wars, I used to watch all of it and then Disney got a hold of it and it's been pretty rough. The TV shows for that was doing good. They were. They had The Mandalorian, that was good. Ahsoka, I thought was pretty good. But I mean, there's been a lot of those shows that really haven't been that great. That the sequels, that's been pretty rough. Those movies weren't great. I believe there's a new Mandalorian movie. I haven't actually looked into that yet. That might be good. Assuming it was written by Dave Favreau, it's probably not bad. But it's just hard. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older and I don't know, changing and not able to see the joy in some of these things. I don't know. Maybe something like that age has something to do with it maybe, but I just find it very hard to watch a lot of it these days, which probably has something to do with why I've been watching so much more hockey recently because it has nothing to do with acting or production. It's just a sport, which I played for 10 years, so I already know I know it very well. I watched Miss Marvel, felt like they were scared to do anything that might have. Yeah, it's what it is. All the shows. I don't want to get. I don't want to get political or anything with it, but all of these shows, their issues, they go woke. It's what it is. They go woke, and the shows suck because of it, and they're not entertaining. And any drama that would exist in a show that was produced 20 years ago, now they can't have that drama or that fight scene because it might offend somebody or it might be politically inaccurate or whatever bizarre, crazy reason they cook up. And so they can't do it, and it just sucks. This guy is so laggy right now. What in the world is his ping? No fights happened until the end episode. I don't even think I watched. No, I think I did watch the whole first season at least. Playing Minecraft Beta 1.3. Oh, me play it. Not tonight, but maybe. I saw that you both said yes to other games at least once a month, so I'll think of something for that. You both gave suggestions here tonight of games that you were talking about, so look into those. I will. They don't show any character growth. That's another. I mean, that was a huge issue with the whole Star Wars sequels since Disney took control of it. They didn't show any character growth for her. And it was like, how did we get here? Like, what are you guys doing? The Star Wars, for one, it's like it gets a lot more. You got all the all the crazy Star Wars fans to answer to, because like, you know, they know every little detail. So if Disney does a slight little thing, it's like, well, that doesn't make sense or whatever. I'm not. Dang, good hit. I'm not crazy like that. I used to be. Not so much anymore. Now I actually have things to do on a daily basis. But yeah, that's the very common issue with all these shows. And another dang, okay. I can't even blame the lag. He wasn't even laggy there in the end. There was multiple of these shows. There's a medical show, there was one show, they're like it's a department store. That's the whole thing. They're just like the staff in a department store. All of these shows, they're considered comedy. Like they're supposed to be funny. None of them are funny. And even the slightest. The humor is awful. It's awful. It's nowhere near funny. Nowhere near funny. Superstore, that sounds about right. It's not funny in even the slightest. The whole point of the show is it's supposed to be a comedy. It is not funny. Not funny in even the slightest. I can't stand to watch it. But like that would be an example of a modern sitcom, like that's about what all the sitcoms look like nowadays. It's awful. It's really sad. Kind of miss it, to be honest, how these shows and TV used to be just 10 years ago even. I find very little. Why is my inventory messed up again? I unfortunately find very little joy in watching most things today. Most new things, that is. It's not like I hate everything, it's just the new stuff really sucks. I'm trying to think of the most recent, like, new show or movie that I thought was good. I think Nuremberg, that was a new one. Now, to be fair, they've recreated a film that they've created twice before, and that's also just a history movie. Like it's not like anyone had to do real writing to or well, they did have to do real writing, but they didn't have to do crazy, you know, planning of the story. They just, oh, well, this is what history was. Let's add some story around it now. I think that's also another more the reason why Expedition 33, I absolutely loved it so much because it honestly was like perfect representation of what I wish modern movies were. Because the story, it was seriously like a movie. It was incredible. And the graphics and everything, like I said, it was so good. It was seriously like a movie, is what it was. It was a playable movie. That Attack on Titan though, that's one of them anime things, isn't it? I've never really been big on those, unfortunately. My brother likes it a lot. I know he's talked about the only one I can think of is the one you just provided, but the Attack on Titan, he's talked about it before. I've had friends that like anime and talked about that stuff, but I don't know. When I think TV, I think like real, like live action, people in shows and movies. I've never been big on anime, which is really weird because I like animation. Like, it's not like I hate animation. I have no problem with certain animated shows, but yeah, anime just in general, never been big on. Not really a fan, which is kind of sad, I guess, because that's probably the best option as far as media goes these days. But I do pretty good on YouTube. There's all kinds of different things to watch. Between Minecraft people or tech channels or build channels. I mean, I got a whole variety of stuff. All right. Yeah, see, it messed up my inventory again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. That was too easy. This poor guy. I messed it up again. If we go to a third round, I should be able to lock in the inventory. Thank you for stopping in, Roland. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Ooh, we might actually go to a third round. Nope. That was close, though. Hey, gold 2. All right. Well, guys, looking over at the stream, it's been almost 2.5 hours. It's, well, going on 11 o'clock over here, so getting late. Thank you all so much for stopping in, but here's what we're going to do. We are going to be ending the stream here. I've had a really good night here, fellas. Hope you all have as well. Mace PvP was great. Had a whole lot of fun with that. We got some serious work done on those mountains. I mean, they look absolutely incredible. I so love and appreciate your support with those mountains. Cannot wait to get some shorts going on about those mountains. Love hearing the feedback about it. Great conversation. Seriously, all of you, love you so much. Thank you for joining me tonight. And I'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye.